The journey to my parents' village took nearly 6 hours, each bump in the road sending waves of pain through my swollen legs. Folake drove carefully, glancing at me with concern whenever I winced. "We can stop if you need to rest," she offered more than once. But I shook my head. "Keep going. I want to get there before dark." As the urban sprawl of Lagos gave way to smaller towns and then to the lush greenery of rural Oyo State, memories flooded back. Childhood visits to my grandparents, harvesting mangoes with my cousins, listening to the elders tell stories under starlit skies. The village had always represented simplicity and peace in my mind. Now I was returning broken, seeking a different kind of healing than I had found in the city's modern hospitals. My parents' shock at my condition was heartbreaking to witness. My mother wailed when she saw me being helped from the car, my father's face crumpling as he took in my emaciated form and swollen legs. "What have they done to you in that city?" my mother cried, her hands trembling as she reached for me. "My beautiful daughter." "It's a long story, Mama," I said weakly as they helped me inside. My childhood bedroom had been hurriedly prepared for my return. Fresh sheets on the narrow bed, a vase of wildflowers on the side table. The familiarity of it brought tears to my eyes. Here, surrounded by faded posters and school trophies, was the girl I had been before. Ambition took me to Lagos. Before success brought enemies I couldn't see. Folake helped settle me on the bed while my mother rushed to prepare food. "Will you stay the night?" I asked Folake, suddenly afraid to be without her. She hesitated. "I should get back to Lagos. I have work tomorrow." "Of course," I said, hiding my disappointment. She had already done so much, driving me all this way. Before she left, Folake sat beside me, taking my hand in hers. "You'll get better here," she said with strange certainty. "Away from everything." There was something in her voice I couldn't quite place. Relief? Guilt? I was too exhausted to analyze it. "I'll come back on the weekend," she promised, squeezing my hand before leaving. That first night in the village, I slept more peacefully than I had in weeks, lulled by the chorus of crickets and the distant murmur of my parents' voices. But morning brought the harsh reality of my condition back in full force. My legs were worse, the swelling had spread higher, and the smell had intensified despite my mother's careful washing. "We need to take her to Baba Fog Bayami," I heard my father tell my mother outside my door. Baba Fog Bayami was the respected Onishe Gun, traditional healer, who served several surrounding villages. He practiced a blend of Yoruba traditional medicine and spiritual healing that the villagers trusted more than the impersonal care of city hospitals. When he came that afternoon, his weathered face betrayed no shock at my condition, though it must have been among the worst he had seen. "How long?" he asked simply as he examined my legs. "Almost a month now," I replied. "The doctors in Lagos couldn't help." He nodded thoughtfully, pressing various points on my feet and ankles, noting where I winced in pain. "And before the swelling, what other symptoms did you have?" I described everything: the fever, the coughing blood, the mysterious social rejection, the false accusations, the progressive deterioration. As I spoke, Baba Fagbehmi's expression grew increasingly grave. When I finished, he sat back, studying me with eyes that seemed to see beyond my physical symptoms. "This is not a natural illness," he said finally. My mother gasped softly from the corner where she stood watching. "What do you mean?" I asked, though deep down I had begun to suspect the same. "The progression, the resistance to treatment, the confluence of misfortunes?" He shook his head. "These are signs of afoshe." "Afoshe," my mother whispered, using the Yoruba word for a spoken curse or harmful spiritual work. Baba Fagbehme chose his words carefully. "Someone has directed harm specifically at you, Omome, my child." Despite the heat of the day, a chill ran through me. Who would do such a thing? And how? "The who is something only you can answer," he replied. "As for the how, there are ways. Objects that carry malevolent intentions. Things that seem innocent but are not. My mind immediately flashed to the gold shoes, but I said nothing. It seemed too fantastical, too absurd to voice aloud. "Can you help her?" my father asked, his voice breaking. "I can try," Baba Fagbehmi said, reaching into his leather pouch for herbs and powders I didn't recognize. But finding the source would be better than just treating the symptoms. He left me with a bitter medicine to drink 3 times daily and a poultice to apply to my legs. As he departed, he paused at the door. "Think carefully about anyone who might wish you harm," he advised. "And anything unusual that happened before your symptoms began." That night, feverish and aching, I did think about Folake's strange behavior, about the timing of my illness, about the shoes that had started it all. But each time my thoughts approached a conclusion too terrible to accept, I pulled back, unwilling to believe such betrayal was possible. As days passed in the village with little improvement in my condition, I found myself drawn to the large iroko tree in our yard, the same type of tree where Folake and I had played as children during our visits. My father fashioned a makeshift chair for me under its spreading branches, padded with cushions to ease the pressure on my legs. Each morning he would help me shuffle there, where I could feel the gentle breeze and watch village life unfold. Children walking to school would wave shyly, old women would stop to offer prayers or herbal remedies, and occasionally, former classmates would visit, barely hiding their shock at my transformation. "It's peaceful here," I told my mother as she brought me lunch one day, "away from the pressure of the city." She nodded, her eyes sad. "But this is not the life you worked so hard for, Aduke." No, it wasn't. My dreams had never included returning home as an invalid, watching my body waste away beneath a tree where I had once climbed with the fearlessness of youth. Yet there was clarity in this enforced stillness. As my body failed me, my mind seemed to sharpen, sorting through memories and connections I had previously been too busy to examine. I thought often of Folake, of our childhood promises, of how I'd helped her secure a position at Oil Nyeja, of her strange behavior before and during my illness. I remembered the flashes of something dark in her eyes when I succeeded, the way she had watched me put on those gold shoes, her insistence that I wear them. But each time my suspicions crystallized, I pushed them away. How could I accuse my oldest friend, my sister in all but blood, of something so monstrous? On the 5th day beneath the tree, I noticed an old man watching me from the road. He stood leaning on a carved walking stick, his white hair contrasting sharply with his deep brown skin. Every day for a week he passed by, his gaze lingering on me with what seemed like recognition, though I was certain we had never met. On the 8th day, as the sun began its descent, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, he finally approached. "Oh, Muck," he said, his voice surprisingly strong for one so aged. "I have watched your suffering." I straightened in my chair, wincing at the pain the movement caused. "Do I know you, Baba?" He shook his head. "No, but I know what ails you." My heart quickened. "You do?" "The cause of your pain is someone close to you," he said softly. "Someone very close." The words struck me like physical blows. "Who?" I whispered, though I feared I already knew the answer. But the old man only looked at me with compassion. "You know, O Moch, in your heart you already know." Tears filled my eyes, spilling down my cheeks. Why? Why would someone who loves me want to harm me this way? "Some hearts grow poisoned by ijowu, jealousy," he said. "They see others shine and believe their own light diminishes by contrast. It is an old story, told many times." Is there a way to undo what's been done to me?" I asked, desperate for hope. The old man nodded slowly. "There is always a way back to wholeness. But first you must be willing to see the truth, no matter how painful." He reached into a small leather pouch tied to his belt and withdrew a bundle of leaves bound with thread. "Brew these into a tea and drink it for 7 days. On the 7th day, the source of your suffering will reveal itself." My hand trembled as I accepted his offering. "Thank you, Baba." "Do not thank me yet," he warned. "Truth brings pain before it brings healing." As he turned to leave, I called after him, "Wait! What is your name?" He glanced back with a sad smile. "Names have power, O Mok. When the time is right, you will know mine." I watched him walk away, the mysterious bundle clutched in my hand, wondering if I had just spoken to a healer or a madman. Yet something in his words resonated with the truth I had been avoiding. That night, I asked my mother to brew the leaves into tea. She hesitated, eyeing the strange bundle suspiciously. "Who gave you this? What if it's poison?" "It's not," I assured her, though I had no logical basis for this certainty. "Please, Mama, I need to try." Reluctantly, she prepared the tea, its bitter aroma filling our small kitchen. As I sipped the dark liquid, a strange warmth spread through me, not the burning of fever, but something else, like strength slowly returning to my body. 7 days, I whispered to myself. 7 days until the truth. I didn't know then how devastating that truth would be. The old man returned the next day, finding me in my usual place beneath the iroko tree. Without ceremony, he settled himself on the ground beside my chair, his movements surprisingly fluid for someone of his age. "You drank the tea," he observed. I nodded. "How did you know?" "Your eyes," he replied simply. "They have clarity now." He was right. Since drinking the tea, my mind had felt sharper, my thoughts more ordered. The physical pain remained, but the mental fog had lifted. "Who are you?" I asked directly. "How do you know about my condition?" He smiled, revealing teeth still strong despite his years. "I have walked this earth for many seasons, O Moch. I have seen illnesses of the body and illnesses of the spirit. Yours is both." "You're a Bahbalawo?" I asked, using the Yoruba word for a traditional priest and spiritual healer. "Some call me that," he shrugged. "Others call me Onishegun or Adahunse. Names matter less than intentions." I studied him more carefully now. His worn but clean clothes, the intricate carvings on his walking stick, the calm intelligence in his eyes. There was nothing frightening about him, despite the power his words suggested. "The tea you gave me," I said, "what is it doing?" "Cleansing," he replied. "Not just your body, but your vision. It removes the veils we place between ourselves and painful truths." "And on the 7th day?" His expression grew solemn. "On the 7th day, the one who caused your suffering will also feel the effects of their actions." Atunshe, what we send into the world returns to us, often with greater force. A chill ran through me. "Will they be hurt?" "Not by my hand or yours," he assured me. "But what we send into the world returns to us, sometimes with greater force. This is not SHN, revenge, O Moch. It is the way of the world." We sat in silence for a moment, listening to the rustling leaves above us. Finally, I asked the question that had been haunting me. If someone I love has done this to me, how can I ever trust again? The old man's eyes softened with compassion. "Trust is like a broken pot. It can be mended, but the cracks will always show. You will learn to trust differently, more wisely, more carefully." "That sounds lonely," I whispered. "It can be," he acknowledged. But in truth, we were always alone in our hearts. The illusion was thinking otherwise. His words, though harsh, carried a strange comfort. If I survived this, and for the first time I believed I might, I would be changed, but not necessarily diminished. The old man visited each day as I continued drinking the tea. Sometimes we talked, his wisdom spanning topics from herbal remedies to the nature of forgiveness. Other times we sat in comfortable silence, watching clouds drift across the sky. By the 5th day, the improvement in my condition was noticeable. The swelling in my legs had begun to recede, the fever broke, and I could stand for short periods without support. "The healing has begun," the old man observed. "But remember, the physical recovery is only part of your journey." "What about the person who did this?" I asked. "Will they know I'm getting better?" He nodded. "They will feel it. Your strength returns as their power over you diminishes." I thought of Folake, who had called daily but had not visited as promised. Her excuses grew increasingly elaborate. Work demands, car troubles, a sudden family emergency. Was she avoiding me because she could sense her curse was weakening? On the morning of the 7th day, I woke feeling stronger than I had in weeks. The terrible smell from my legs had disappeared, and though the skin remained discolored, The swelling had reduced dramatically. I managed to walk to the Iroko tree unassisted, savoring this small victory. The old man was already waiting, a knowing smile on his face. "Today is the day of truth," he said without preamble. "I'm afraid," I admitted. "What if I'm wrong about who did this? Or worse, what if I'm right?" "Both possibilities require courage," he replied. "But you have survived the worst already? This is merely confirmation of what your heart knows." As we spoke, my mother hurried from the house, a mobile phone in her hand. "Aduke, it's Folake," she said, her expression worried. "She says she's very ill and needs to speak with you urgently." The old man and I exchanged glances. It had begun. "Tell her I'll call her back," I said, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. After my mother returned to the house, the old man spoke quietly. "What will you do now, Omo?" I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the decision before me. I need to see her. I need to hear the truth from her own lips. He nodded approvingly. "That takes courage." "Will you tell me your name now?" I asked. "Before I go?" The old man smiled. "My name is Bahba Tunde. It means father has returned." "Thank you, Baba Bahba Tunde," I said, tears welling in my eyes. "For helping me when modern medicine could not." He placed his weathered hand gently on mine. "Remember this, Aduke. Ida Riji, forgiveness, is not for the one who harmed you. It is for yourself, so you can be free." With those words, he rose and walked away. Somehow I knew I would not see him again, at least not in this form. The healer had done his work. The rest of the journey was mine alone.
If you're eager to see how this story unfolds, please subscribe and let us know in the comments below. Type continue to see episode 6. Your feedback will help shape future videos on this channel.